Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motor Chaos with your host, Dave. I'm going to have special guest, Aka Fuel Alter driver, Paul Appelbaum. How you doing, Paul?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Not bad at all. It's a little chilly outside here in Illinois, but, I could deal with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not too far from you over in Indiana. Just hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep. So how'd the Fuel Alter run for you this year?
This year, we've done pretty good. We've learned a lot. Finally, I actually got a combination that's staying together for us. Just a few little leaks. Other than that, just some minor tuning issues, and we're about right there.
So you done for the year?
Yes, well, we just got back yesterday from Bowling Green. We were in Bowling Green for our final race.
How'd you do up in Kentucky?
We run too fast. We broke out.
So how many events did you run this year?
We run the NDRL League runs 7 events, and then I run an extra one over in Eddyville, Iowa, which is just 8 miles. The rest of the events are quarter mile.
Cool. So Paul, I'm gonna rewind the clock on you and ask you, how did you get involved in drag racing?
I grew up in a small town, Paxton, Illinois, and every Friday, Saturday night, we all cruised Maine, and I started out just building up whatever we could build up. We'd go out to Old Dogtown, and we'd race them, and we just kind of kept progressing, and sooner or later, everybody was getting too fast to be on the streets, and it's just been in my blood ever since I was a kid.
So what year did you start racing on the track?
On the tracks, I started racing probably around 91.
So what was the first vehicle you raced in?
My 55 Chevy was the first car I had on the track.
So
All steel 55 Chevy, small block, supercharged.
So you did some bracket racing?
Yes, sir.
How many years did you do the bracket racing?
Oh, I've done a few years with the 55 and set that aside. And then when did we buy the Beretta? In 07? Yeah, we bought the Beretta in 07. Then we had a two chassis Beretta. We run for a little bit. And then I decided to just go ahead and jump in with the Altered. It's something I've talked about doing since I was 21 years old. Just light, short wheelbase, crazy to hang on to. Doesn't go straight every time, that's for sure.
So with the bracket racing, did you have any success?
A little bit. That was still just it was the first time I run alcohol, so it was a learning curve on that as well. Did some stuff here at Bunker Hill, one of our local tracks here. That's pretty much all I did with that.
All right. So what year did you get the Altered?
We got the Altered in 12 from Jeff Woolard out of Kansas. We're still very good friends to this day.
So how was the experience like for the first time going down the track in the Fuel Altered?
To be absolutely honest with you, it scared me to death. Sitting in the middle of a car with your legs straddled around the transmission, not having any idea what this thing was going to do. I think the minute I let go of the trans brake button, I couldn't get my foot off the throttle quick enough. It was definitely an eye-opening experience.
Now, what's been the quickest pass you've made with that Fuel Altered?
Right now, we run a 691 at 195 miles an hour is the quickest pass. We were still didn't have enough fuel going to the motor still, so September of last year, we put a bigger fuel pump on the motor, and it broke the chassis. So we spent all last winter getting the chassis redone, getting it fixed up to handle the added horsepower that we put to it.
So what track was that on where you made your fastest pass?
St. Louis, Madison, Illinois.
So now, Paul, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Eddyville, St. Louis is always a good track. Norwalk is a phenomenal track. The Banner family family. I mean, they just do a phenomenal job. As a matter of fact, was it last year or the year before? Was the first year together with the car completely painted. It was 2 years ago. We got the car completely painted. First time out with this big Rodeck motor in it. Second hit, I think we actually broke a rocker arm and tore up a push rod. Had the car all put away, ready to leave the next morning, and our safety director come over and knocked on the door at 8 o'clock, said, "Get that car unloaded." I said, "What for?" He says, "You got an award for the best appearing race car." So we drug the car out, went up there, got our ice cream scoop, and got to tell our story on the starting line with the track owner.
Wow, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, that was probably a big surprise to you, huh?
I was totally shocked. I had no idea that was coming.
So now you prefer quarter mile or eighth mile?
I like the quarter mile. Especially, I think I'm probably the shortest wheelbase car out there. Joey Haas had a 120-inch car. I've got a 118-inch old school, still old chassis, no updates. It's torsion bar front end on it. So it's quite a bit of a handful to drive. It just doesn't go A to B. You're wrestling that thing all the way down the track.
And now Joey's in that nostalgia top fuel dragster.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Now, how about you? You ever have a urge to go nitro?
Definitely kick that idea around. I think that's going to take a few more hands of help and a few more dollars in the pocket to make that ever happen. But yeah, the thought is definitely. I've never even run M5 yet. I'm afraid I'll get a taste of it, and then it's just going to progress and get worse from there.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, have you ever injected any nitro in it?
No. It's for most of the races I run, it's all on a 7.0 index. You can't run faster than 7.0, so we're already trying to fight to slow the thing down. With this cool weather this last weekend, we had the slowest pulley we could put on it, and I was down to 22 degrees of timing just to get it off the line. Our first round of eliminations, I actually about 400 foot kicked the ass in sideways because it just wouldn't hold the track.
So now, Paul, after all these years of drag racing, what still keeps you passionate about it?
It's a horrible addiction. Once it bites you, it's just got you. I just can't think of anything else I'd rather do. As bad as that sounds, I used to have boats. I used to have Harleys. I, had all kinds of stuff to do all summer long. Now, all I want to do is drag race. I just love being in this car. I love being, I get to load up my best friend for 40 years, his wife for 20 years, my wife, one of my other best friends that helps me with the car, and we load up in the motorhome and we take off for 4 days and go racing. I don't know what more better you could ask out of life than that. So
your wife supports you in the drag racing?
Oh, absolutely. She's almost too much because she never says no. If I say I want to do something, she doesn't question it. She doesn't complain about it. She just says, "You do what you want to do."
Now, you have any kids?
Yes, sir. I got 3 boys.
So
I got 3 stepsons.
How old are your kids?
My youngest is going to be 21 this December.
Now, did any of them like drag racing?
They all like it. My 2 older boys, they don't have a whole lot of interest in it. My youngest son does. He's ever since he was a little baby, he used to help me out in the garage, but he just got into the union, so he's been real busy with that, so he hasn't been able to go racing with us very much.
Well, that's good that he helped you in the garage and stuff. You don't get too many kids doing that these days. Now they're all stuck on the damn video games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta. Some of these kids, we gotta tear them away from video games and get them out of the house.
Yes, sir. Get them out, get some tools in their hand, and get them underneath here and get them dirty.
At least go out and play, even because when we were young, we'd go outside and play all the time after school. Now the kids don't go out. They sit there and play video games for hours and hours.
Yeah, we wasn't allowed inside the house until dark.
Yeah, that's the same here. I'd go out, play until dark, come in. I'd come in for dinner. Then after dinner, go back out again.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we'd play softball, whatever, catch one, catch all kinds of stuff outside. Football.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Ab-
Yeah.
absolutely.
Times have changed, my friend.
Yes, sir. They sure are. That's one thing I do. I do definitely like about this nostalgia stuff. Actually, Troy Wilson, that does all of our track, getting everybody parked and set up. Race director, he is actually stepping down, and he put a post on Facebook. If you've seen that from Troy Wilson, that how small this class was when it started to what it's grown. When he started back in 2010, there was 30 members. 10 years later, there's 230 members.
Wow.
This class is growing. When
So
I first joined, I think there was 15 7.0 cars, 17 750 cars. Now there's about 30 in each field, just in those two classes.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yep,
need.
they've done a phenomenal job.
That's what we need. A lot of nostalgia guys out there.
And to be absolutely honest, when I first bought this car, I built a small block for it, and I just wanted to take it up to Morocco and just go play every now and again. I didn't realize I was 45 minutes away from an NDRL league that raced this kind of stuff on six events a year. So it just kind of fell right into my lap, and I went from that. Oh, honey, $15,000 will do it. That's I can build this car for that, to turn it into just a $20,000 engine. $40,000 later, get to go out on the track. Absolutely.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I prefer watching nostalgia racing over like the big show NHRA.
Yeah, even the nostalgia stuff, Eddyville stuff's a little bit more different. They want you to put on a show for the crowd. They really Scott and Peggy over there, they do a phenomenal job of promoting that. There's 60 sponsors just for that event in Eddyville, Iowa. They want you to bring T-shirts. You're signing kids with T-shirts. You're signing autographs for people. It's hero cards. I mean, it's great to have. 2 years ago, my pilot chute was getting wore out, and twice my parachute didn't open. So I cut the pilot chute off. I had another one with me, put this brand new one on it. Kid come over and he wanted his pictures taken, so we throwed him in the car, let him sit there, let his dad take pictures of him sitting in the car, and I handed him the pilot chute and told him to have a good day. I just enjoy doing stuff like that.
Now, in the pits, do you fit any kids into the car?
Oh yeah. If kids come around to the pit, they want. Well, I'll just grab them right up, throw them in the seat, let them sit behind the steering wheel, let them see what it's like.
Oh yeah, that makes a memory of a lifetime right there.
Oh, absolutely. Them kids, I hope will remember that. A lot of the same people we'll see back at the same pits every year. We've been there 4 years in a row, and we've always been there. That's one race we do not miss.
Now, when you first started drag racing, like bracket racing, way back then, did you have any heroes out there as far as drag racing, inspirational people, anything?
Oh, absolutely. I'd have to say Kenny Bernstein was probably one of my biggest. I think that's the first thing I remember of drag racing. Probably been about 8 years old on a Saturday, watching old black and white TV, eating my blueberry cereal. I'll never forget it as long as I live, watching the replay of Kenny Bernstein run his first 300-mile-per-hour run. From that point on, I was hooked. That was it.
The Budweiser car, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I even have a Kenny Bernstein autograph, the old Forever Red Mac Tools toolbox.
Now, when you were young, did you ever collect any of those diecast cars?
Oh, yeah. I wish I'd taken a little better care of them. Too busy playing with them than keep worrying about collecting them.
Now, did you go to a lot of drag races when you were young, like to the the big show guys?
What's that now?
I said, did you go to a lot of drag races when you were younger?
Not when I was younger. I started taking my boys about the time they could walk, because at that time I lived in Danville, Illinois, so I was only an hour and a half from Indy. So I started taking them every Friday and Sunday. I would take them to the U.S. Nationals, and we've done that for about 10 years. 10 years straight, taking them Friday and Sundays.
So when's the last time you've been to the one of the big NHRA events?
Every year I go September
Yeah.
or Labor Day weekend. Yes. Yeah, we at least go for one day, if nothing else.
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed though is like in live feeds from NHRA or even nostalgia racing, they seeing a lot of empty seats these days.
Yeah.
Something needs to be done.
It seems like to me, I remember as soon as they cut it back to 1,000 foot is when it kind of fell off. I remember going every Friday, and there'd be people from Germany, Sweden. I mean, they would fly in just for this. It was huge. And now, like you said, there's just not that many people in the seats. Our first race every year in Madison, we're also tagged in with the Super Streetcar National guys. And I'm just amazed at how few people are in the stands. I mean, you have us guys, you have the nostalgia group, you have pro mods, you have, last year there was 30 pro mods there. And it was the quickest qualifying field ever. If you didn't have a 360, you wouldn't even in the show. There was 285X cars. There was just hundreds of cars, and I was really shocked that the stands were not packed. They were very bare.
Yeah, there's a few tracks though. They know what they're doing. They get the people in there like the Baiters and
Yep.
131, Martin,
Yep.
Michigan. Man.
Yes, sir. That's a great track as well.
Yeah, they know how to get the people in though.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, something needs to be done to get people coming out to watch drag racing more though.
Yes, they do. I think just getting it out there. This year, we just were a little behind the eight ball getting everything going again this year. It was so late getting my chassis back. My chassis guy, he's 4 years old. He doesn't work as fast as he used to, and he's so busy being right there in Brownsburg. Vance and Hines boys need something done. He pretty much drops doing everything and takes care of them guys. And he's done a lot of work for Pedregon. He's just a really busy guy with a small shop, and so we got started pretty late this year and just didn't get as much racing in. I wanted to do a little more of our local car shows, just to bring the car out there so everybody can see it. Let them know that our schedule. From here, our farthest race is Norwalk. Norwalk's our farthest race, and Eddyville. They're both about the same distance away. Everything else is 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Now, when you take the altered out, how many crew members do you have?
I have my wife, my best friend Sean, his wife, and usually my buddy Kurt that helps me with the data system.
Now, do you have any sponsors at all?
Goodyear gives me one free slick, and Stan's Body Shop takes care of all my paint and body work. Especially sometimes I've been hard on the car a couple times. Accidents do happen.
Now, when you're out on a track, Paul, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions?
Just playing music before we go up there. Somebody will pick something different every time. Always have the music going. When I pile in that car, I tap the hat and I think to myself, don't hurt me and I won't hurt you.
Now, what goes into preparation, to get the altered ready for a weekend?
Getting everything loaded up. My wife thinks she's got to feed everybody that's around her, so she goes and makes sure the fridge is completely full. There's plenty of food in case anybody's hungry. Getting the motorhome loaded up, propane in the propane tanks, extra water, making sure all the alcohol jugs are full, extra parts. I pretty much try and leave everything I can in the trailer so I don't have to worry about pulling stuff in and out. I've got just my Mac Tools big cart that I keep all my race stuff in. We got to get the car loaded up, get it in the trailer, then we get the motorhome hooked to it, get it ready to roll out.
Now, where do you get your fire safety equipment from?
All my suit and helmet, all that stuff is Simpson. Fire system is DJ Safety. My bag, diaper, restraints are all DJ. Ben, he's a phenomenal guy. When I was putting this together, I was still running the 750 class when I had to step up to the 7.0. I'd put fire bottles on it. Of course, that's when there was a shortage of those, and Ben stepped up and found me a couple fire bottles. They were getting hard to find. He got them right out to me, made sure I had them in plenty of time for my race.
So now, Paul, what would be some of the milestones of your drag racing career so far?
Obviously, getting the award at Norwalk is a huge milestone. That's, from what I understand, there's not a whole lot of them given out. The old ice cream scoop. That's probably one of my biggest achievements so far. Other than this year, it's been the first year that I have not tore the car up, or that I haven't had to do major repairs over the winter. It's kind of weird. I'm usually having to thrash in between rounds, or in between races to make sure I've got everything together. I run a lot of older parts. It's hard, like rocker arms. T&D still make these, but they haven't made the ones that are on this car since 1990. So if one of those breaks, it's 3-4 weeks before I can get one. Same with push rods, they're an odd length. Head studs are an odd length. Everything's just a little bit odd, but that's what makes this car a little bit unique from everybody else's. It's just not off the shelf parts. It's all just old school, outdated parts. Now, the cylinder heads I run are actually off an 80s Pro Stock car. They're the old GM 18-degree Pro Stock heads. There's not a whole lot of them sets laying around anymore.
Wow. So now, throughout your drag racing career, how many accidents have you had?
None yet. Knock on wood. Been close a couple times, but nothing yet.
All right, so now we're gonna hit the fun questions here. Now,
sure.
if someone were to come up to you, Paul, and say, "Hey, Paul, I'm gonna give you $500 million. I want you to build a brand new drag race track," where would you consider building the new track at, and what kind of features would you put in that track?
Oh man, I wouldn't even know where to think where I would put a track at. Obviously, I'd want to put it close to me, but we've already got some good tracks around here. I would have it set up probably real similar. Of all the tracks I've been to, Norwalk has just got a phenomenal facility, phenomenal people working there. The showers are awesome. The dollar ice cream, pound of ice cream for $1. They've always done that. The fireworks show they put on. If nobody's ever been to that Norwalk, to the Blue Suede Shoes, that they got to go. That's got to be on your bucket list just to go see. Just experience it. I mean, and as far as from the racing standpoint of it, you will have young kids coming around picking up garbage cans, asking if they need anything. I mean, there's just everything about that track and the way they do business there is just phenomenal.
Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing, Paul?
Not much anymore. This pretty much takes up most of my time. When I can, we watch football, Street Outlaws. We watch. Most of the time, we're preparing for next year, getting the car ready, just staying busy out here in the garage. I spend a lot of time out in the shop. I've got the engine sitting in the car. I got my old small block sitting on a stand. I got my old big block sitting on a stand over here. Pretty much just drag racing 110%.
Now, in the racing that you're in, with your little league there, you have a greatest competitor in there?
God, they're all great competitors. Corey Millett, them guys. You got 3 generations there: grandfather, father, son race. Robbie Friels and his family, Pat, dad, sister, brother-in-law. There's a lot of family. Kurt Duckworth out of Pennsylvania. just built his own Ultra this year, start to finish. Built it all in a shop, and it turned out to be a beautiful piece. He's got a phenomenal piece. Steve Walzak at Arizona, he's helped me out quite a bit. He's a great competitor. They're just all tough. Just any given day, they're going to be on it. I've seen these guys in the 7.0. It can be 90 degrees out, and the top 6 qualifiers are 7 flats with a 10, 7 flats with a 12. I mean, they're on it and then consistently run it back to back. And we don't run any. We have no electronics. No electronics are allowed in our class. You got a trans brake button and a shifter button. That's it. How these guys keep that dialed in is pretty phenomenal. I just think it's just a lot of years of them doing it. Eventually, I'll get there. I'll be one of those guys one day. I'm still just 5 years into the blown big block alcohol stuff, so I still got a lot to learn.
Now, have you won any trophies throughout your drag racing career?
Have not. Always been a runner-up. We're going to next year. That's our goal, is to actually be able to run all the races next year, and at least be in the top 5 somewhere.
All right. Now, if you could do time traveling and go backwards in the time, Paul, would you do anything differently with the drag racing career?
The windshield.
Okay. Now, next question. Okay, as far as drag racing goes, you have a bucket list of things you'd like to try?
Definitely would like to go to March meet. That's on the bucket list. To be able to start, run out to California and do that in Bakersfield, I think that would be just the height of everything. Just to be able to make it and be able to compete with those guys would be phenomenal.
Now, do you have a most embarrassing moment on the track?
Yes, I do. We were at Eddyville. Actually, my buddy Kurt that helps me with the car, we got it worked out. Daryl Gwynn was being the announcer for that weekend. We were actually able to get them to hold off for a split second and call Kurt out. He proposed to his wife there at Eddyville. And as we were racing, I accidentally bumped the trans brake button and lost the race when I could have won the whole thing, which would have just made it that much more sweeter.
Wow. All right, so on a race day now, as far as eating at the track, when on a race day, do you eat regularly or do you eat light and wait till the race is over and then eat more?
We eat pretty much light during the day. My wife thinks we need 7-course meals. We've had to tone her down from cooking so much because it's just insane that we don't need all that much to eat. She wants to make sure everybody's fed though, so this year we've tried toning it down because that car's pretty tight as it is. I don't need to be gaining any more extra pounds.
Yeah, you want to fit in that fire suit.
Oh yeah. Some fire suits are expensive. You don't want to have to jump up on another side.
Yeah. No. So now that we're talking about food, what's your favorite food to eat?
Oh, pizza's got to be my favorite food. Chicago style pizza.
What do you like on your
One
pizza?
of my favorites. What's that?
What do you like on your pizza?
Sausage, pepperoni, mushroom.
That's your go-to pizza, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's your favorite beverage?
My favorite beverage would have to be Captain Morgan and Diet.
How about what's your favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
That would be Diet Mountain Dew.
All right. You watch movies much at all?
A little bit. Yeah, when I have time. I have a Max Tools franchise. I have 3 trucks, so that keeps me pretty well busy till 7, 8 o'clock every night.
Now, do you have a favorite movie of all time?
I would have to say Man on Fire was probably one of my favorite movies.
What's your favorite music?
A little bit of everything. Metallica. I like a little bit heavier side music.
So, like when you're at the track, a good song for you to listen to by Metallica would be "Fuel," right?
Oh, absolutely. That was one of my son's favorite songs when he was playing video games as a little kid.
Yeah, the hard rock and metal and drag racing always go good together.
Oh, absolutely. All in your face.
Yep. Stuff like Motley Crue, "Kickstart My Heart." Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get your blood pumping.
Absolutely.
So what's your Metallica is your favorite band?
That was the first concert I ever seen was Metallica.
What tour?
Uh, oh, that was '89. That was in Springfield, Illinois, I believe.
89 was what album? What album was that? 89.
That was God, what was that? That was the Black album, I believe.
Yeah, the Black Album. I remember seeing them at Illinois at the Allstate Arena. They played like
Yep.
3 nights in a row. There,
Yep.
I went to two of them out of three of them.
Oh wow, that's dedication.
Yeah. So when you were growing up as a kid, Paul, did you have a favorite cartoon?
Uh, Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner. Yes, always Saturday morning. That was the thing to do.
Oh yeah, the Looney Tunes. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing?
Um, Probably either be on the lake or riding a Harley.
Now, have you ever gone fishing?
Oh yeah, we try and go fishing every Christmas. Over Christmas, we go to Florida for 2 weeks. We at least do some type of fishing charter.
So fishing would be a hobby for you, but you don't have time to do it.
It's funny. One of the guys at my shop, one of the shop owners, he always drag raced, and he's slowed down now, and he's got a grandson. He spends time with at the lake house, and every time I tell him about something being broke, he says, "I'm telling you, yeah, just go fishing, just go fishing."
Yeah, it's nice to just relax and not be out there on the water, out there in nature.
Absolutely,
Even if you don't catch anything, you're enjoying the outdoors, the peace and quiet.
absolutely. A bad day of fishing still, I think, better than a good day at work.
Oh yeah, that's what they say.
Yes, sir.
So Paul, what's been the fondest memory of your drag racing career?
Fondest memory. God, it's hard to. Yeah, I'd probably say the fondest memory would have been when Ruman had actually had to cut my car in half. So I twisted the chassis, put it all back together, and first pass out, everybody asked me, "Well, you going to take it easy?" I said, "Nope." I said, "If Ruman built it, I know I ain't got a worry in the world." Ruman was actually up on the starting line with my wife, flying the car up. We was trying to qualify for a 750 field and running out the back door. It run a 717 at 183 mile an hour.
Wow,
Went straight as an arrow.
that's all.
Rude man looked over my wife and went, "Huh." And that's all he said and walked away.
Wow, that's a great memory right there.
Yes, sir.
So now, if people are listening to the interview right now and they wanna, they're wondering where they can find a schedule for you, where you're gonna be racing at next year. Where can they find your schedule at?
They they can go to the NDRL. They're on Facebook, NDRL page. Usually about the end of December, beginning of January, they'll post a new schedule. Plus, as soon as I see it, I'll repost it as well. It's usually pretty much the same tracks ask us back before we ever leave the tracks. We have 2 races in Madison, 2 in Bowling Green, Norwalk, and Martin, Michigan, and then also I run the Eddyville, Iowa with a WFAN.
Now, how important do you think it is for families to bring their kids out and watch drag racing in this day and age?
Absolutely, very important. Just to see the hard work and dedication that goes into doing this. If nothing else, just to let them see that this stuff is still out there. People are still doing this. Uh, I think it's incredibly. It just helps with everything. I mean, getting people out. Go out and see this stuff. Go out and enjoy it. It's just like the Top Fuel stuff. Every ticket's a pit patch. Walk back there, talk to the driver. Find out where they're from. Look at their combinations. I mean, everybody. As much as these cars still look alike, they all are completely different. Once you really start looking at them, there's not one car out here alike.
Yeah, yeah. I tell people in some of the interviews, yeah, if you could get some of these kids away from video games and bring them to the track, they might actually like the drag racing. And
At least some form of it, regardless what it is. At least get them addicted to this. Where at least if they're addicted to this, they can't have money to do bad stuff.
yeah, yeah. At least we got a lot of junior dragsters out there these days.
Absolutely, that's a big growing field.
Hey, those are the future right there. They could be the next John
Yes,
Force,
sir.
Courtney Force, all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Them are some pretty serious kids we've seen there in St. Louis. There was a lot of them there last year we was there. They were really, really hardcore.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had a couple of them on for interviews. Yeah, two different girls were on. Trying to get some more on, but I gotta find them.
Absolutely.
So now, Paul, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview tonight.
Oh, absolutely. No problem. Anytime.
You have any final words or thank yous or any kind of closing comments, anything?
Just like to thank you for reaching out and talking to me. I've never done this before. I think it's great that you're doing stuff like this, getting the word out, making sure that at least everybody knows about it. Everybody's listening to you. That get out, take a kid to a drag strip, change their mind.
Yep. Bring the kids out. Got to keep the sport going.
Absolutely.
Like
We're
I
all
said,
getting old.
kids are the future. The kids got to keep it going.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks again, Paul, and you have a great night.
All right, thank you, sir.
And good luck. Good luck next year with the altered.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted.
All right. We'll do another interview in the future.
Yes, sir.
We'll see how you're doing with the altered. Yeah, next year we'll do another. We'll follow up on you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep, we'll follow up, see how the year went.
All right. You have a great night, Paul.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Bye.
Bye.